Alright, let's talk about Resident Evil Requiem, because honestly, this might be the best horror game I've played in a long time, and I don't say that lightly. From the moment you start the game, there's this constant tension that never really lets go. It's not just about jump scares, it's that slow creeping anxiety that builds as you move forward, not knowing what's around the next corner. And that feeling is carried heavily by what is, without a doubt, the best graphics I've seen in a horror game to date. Everything looks insanely detailed, lighting, the character models, environments, but more importantly, it all feels real. And in a horror game, that realism makes everything hit way harder. What really stood out to me though is how the game handles its different settings. You're not stuck in one type of environment the whole game. Instead, it constantly shifts between completely different atmospheres. The care center sections are probably the most disturbing, with this quiet, almost clinical horror where every sound matters. You got all those people turned into zombies, but they kept a fraction of their souls, and they keep doing what they were there for in the first place. I'm thinking about the chef, the singers, the cleaning lady, the patient, and many others. Then you've got Raccoon City, which brings back that chaotic, nostalgic destruction for those who played the past games. The underground sections feel claustrophobic and oppressive, and even the lab areas lean more into that classic Resident Evil sci-fi horror. Each settings feels unique, and the transitions between them keep the experience fresh the entire time. Now, let's talk about the boss fights, because this game absolutely delivers there too. Every major encounter feels memorable and distinct. This is insane, man. I was not expecting this. Mr. X brings that relentless pressure where you're constantly being hunted. The spider boss is just pure nightmare fuel, especially if you're not great with creepy crawlies, like me. And Victor, I won't spoil too much, but that fight is intense, both mechanically and emotionally. None of these bosses feel like filler bosses. They all serve a purpose and add to the overall experience very well. But the biggest strength of this game, easily, is the dynamic between the two main characters, Grace and Leon. This is where the game really separates itself from the past entries in the series. Grace's sections are played in first person by default, you could change it after if you want, and they are terrifying. She's weak, vulnerable, and every small noise feels like it could get you killed. You're constantly second guessing your movements, trying to stay quiet, trying to survive. It's pure survival horror. Then you switch to Leon, and it's a completely different energy. Third person, more control, more firepower. I mean, he's a beast. He feels like a war machine. You're still in danger, but now you can actually fight back. You can destroy these zombies. That contrast between the two playstyles is honestly genius, and because it keeps the game from ever feeling repetitive. And what's even better is that with Grace, you actually have the option to switch between first person and third person. Now, while I believe that first person is the right way to go for her, and that if you play third person, you're a coward, that level of choice adds a lot to the experience, depending on how you want to play, of course. Whether you want full immersion or a bit more awareness. I was kidding. The pacing between these two characters is also really well done, because the game knows exactly when to switch things up, so you never get too comfortable in one style. It keeps pushing you forward, constantly adapting. In terms of length, I think they nailed it. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but it also doesn't feel rushed. Every section feels purposeful, and by the time you reach the end, it feels complete. No unnecessary padding, no dragged out sequences, just a tight, well paced experience. And the story, this is where the Requiem part really comes into play. At its core, this game isn't just about survival, it's about care, love, regret, and closure. There's an emotional weight to everything that happens, especially as you see how the characters evolve and how their paths connect. It's not just another zombie story. It actually gives you something to think about by the end. Gameplay wise, it's just solid across the board. There's a ton of interaction with the environment, puzzles that are actually fun to solve without being frustrating, and a difficulty that feels fair. You'll die sometimes, sure, of course, but it rarely feels cheap. Most of the time, it feels like you could have done something better, which is exactly what you want in a game like this. So, overall, Resident Evil Requiem is a fantastic game. It nails the horror, the atmosphere, the gameplay, and the storytelling. But more importantly, it brings something fresh with that dual character system. That contrast between fear and power, between Grace and Leon, is what really makes this game stand out. If you're a fan of horror games, this is an easy recommendation from me. And if you aren't, this could be your best bet on trying out the genre. And honestly, this might be one of the strongest entries the series has had in years. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.